compulsory basic training, or CBT, your 1-day course, which is your first stage of your full bike license. That's if you want your full bike license, that is. I mean, with a CBT you could get your certificate, renew it every couple of years, and pot around on a 125. A CBT is, as it says in the name, is compulsory. There's no way around it, you've got to do it. But if you're new to a bike, the CBT is perfect, because what it does is it takes it right back to the basics. How the bike works, how you maneuver, how you control, how you ride, effectively. I done my CBT twice. The first time I done it was about 10 years ago. I'll be honest, I didn't like it. The place that I done it at, it was like a small yard. We went back and forth on the bike a couple of times, a little bit of clutch control in the morning, and then that was it. We were out on the road, and that was the first time I'd ever ridden a bike. I was still getting all confused around the controls. So on a bike, your clutch is on the left hand side, your front brake is on the right hand side, your gear lever is down by your left foot, and your back brake is at your right foot. So coming from a car where you're changing gear with your hand, and your clutch is you're pushing the clutch down with your left foot, it's a very different thing, and it can be quite hard to get used to. So the first time I got out on the road, I was mixing the gears up, I was forgetting to pull the clutch in, I was hitting the front brake when I was in first gear, so the bike was bouncing. I had cars getting too close to me because I was dithering on the road, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was losing control of the bike, and it really put me off. I walked away after the day and thought, you know what, that is not for me, it really isn't. And then you'd see more people on the bikes, and I had that itch that I wanted to scratch. I thought, I've got to do this. Anyway, I had a couple of kids, didn't want to do while the kids were young, and the kids are a bit older now. So I thought, right, got to get it done. So I went back for the second time, and I went to a completely different place, in Southport it was. If you want the details, just let me know, I can send them over. I'll post them if anyone's interested. With Wayne, he's a really nice guy. And anyway, so I went to Wayne's, and he's got much bigger space. He's a really nice, down-to-earth, sort of tell it as it is person. Can give you a little bit of stick if you're getting things wrong, but it's all just to make you a better rider. Yes, so I started again. Started with Wayne from the beginning. I sort of remembered little bits and bobs, but I wanted to start as a complete beginner, which I did, because again, when I was in the little yard bit, I was getting mixed up with the clutch and the gears and the brakes and this, that and the other. But with Wayne having so much space out the back, the CBT was a full day. The morning was around the space that he had, so it was like a car park, smaller car park. So in that space we were able to do U-turns, figure eights, slaloms, start and stop, full clutch control, emergency stop, all the things, all the basics that you need to ride a bike. Whereas previously it was, you can go forwards, you can push it round manually and go forwards again, and that sort of thing, which, you know, is great, but you need to learn the basics if you're going to be right. Oh, nice one for that, thank you. Just give me no space. Yeah, you need to learn the basics. One of the things that put me off, so if you're looking at the controls of the bike, to be in first gear, it's tapping all the way down to the bottom, but then one tap up, or half a tap up they call it, half a tap up is neutral, and then the next one up is second gear. I got caught out a couple of times getting into neutral instead of second gear as I'm driving down the road, but it's just a basic mistake, and it's something that you got to push through. When you get out on the bike for the first time and you're getting up to say 30 mile an hour, it's a completely different experience to a car. In a car you're safe, you're secure, you're in a metal box, you might be listening to the radio or chatting away, and you're quite relaxed in a comfortable seat. On a bike you feel everything, you feel the wind, you can hear the you're going over these bumps and your voice jumps if you're talking to yourself. the flies are bouncing off the screen or the body, and you can feel things, you can feel everything, hear every noise. Cars cut you up like this guy just did in front of me. All these things add to the experience of the motorbike, but to me make it that little bit more exciting. When I done my CBT, I was nervous going out on the road because all I could remember was last time how bad it was. The cars were too close, I couldn't get my gears. But within half an hour, I felt a lot. Where are you going? You're going left. I felt a lot better in my own confidence riding a bike. Now, don't get me wrong, the CBT doesn't teach you everything that you need. The CBT just gives you a license for 2 years to go out on the road and learn how to be a better rider. All you're learning is how to control the bike, how to use the road. You need to do your theory test as well if you're going to do your full bike. I don't think you need a theory for a CBT, but I could be wrong. The only thing I was focused on was the full bike. But when you get onto your full bike, when you do your mod 1 and mod 2, that's when you really learn how to control the bike. That's when you're learning things like counter steer, which is really important, especially if you're going to pick up a little bit of speed going around the corners. If you're just trying to if you're trying to twist the handlebars to steer, it's not going to work on a motorbike. You need to lean, and leaning was one of the things that I was really nervous about to start with, especially going round roundabouts. If you've got a 2-lane roundabout, you've really got to go deep into the left lane and then come back, like I did on the roundabout just then. It probably didn't show, but I had to go quite deep because I knew there was a car on my side. That sort of thing with the lean can put you off a little bit, but you've just got to have confidence in yourself and the bike that you will lift back up. The bike has more grip actually when it's leaning than what it does on the front. There's the way that the tyre deforms as you turn and it flattens out and gives you more grip. The bike is built to lean as well, so you've just got to build that confidence up slowly but surely. You will get there. The CBT itself is, like I said, a 1-day course. There's no exam. It's either you can ride a bike or you can't ride a bike. There was a girl on my CBT that I did the second time, so in Southport with Wayne, who actually dropped the bike when we were in his yard at the back. She dropped it when we were doing a manoeuvre. Now that would put a lot of people off, but she just shook it off, got on the bike and went, and she was a good rider. There was no issue with CBT. Wayne signed the CBT off. Now anybody who does the CBT, any instructor, will only sign it off if they think that you're a capable rider, and not everybody is. So you got to make sure that you can handle the bike before he signs it off, otherwise there's no point. You just got to go out there and kill yourself. But like I said, you don't become a real rider until you start doing your mod 1 and 2. That is when you learn, a bit of a standoff here, that's when you learn how to really control the bike and what the bike can do. Your mod 1 and mod 2, I'll go over that in another video. But yeah, that's pretty much everything on the CBT and what to expect. But I would say, if you're a little bit nervous doing it, push yourself to do it. You might really like it. I went back for the second time, a little bit apprehensive, a bit nervous, a bit like, oh, I'm not going to like this, I don't want to do it. Got on the bike, I was a bit nervous, and it's shown, everyone stalls the bike, everybody loses control, goes a little bit too quick and gets a little bit panicky. But the thing that you got to remember is these things are not built to fall over. These things are built to stay up. I mean, I can lean over this bend now using counter steer, and I can go quite a bit over than what I normally would, and the bike will quite happily just pull itself back up. Push through the nerves. Believe me, it's worth it. It really is. Because when you're out on the road, you got yourself a nice road and the sun is shining and the exhaust is roaring, nothing beats it. Believe me, nothing beats it.